So this is going to be a little bit of a... This is a new vlog, actually, so I'm just going to start it. But this is back when I was doing my walk around. I took some pictures of the bike, so that's why my bike's right here. Kind of close to this wall. But I had a question for you guys. How many of you, show of thumbs, yeah. Show of thumbs. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. This is a really nice area to do some tricks. I can see some donuts in this road. How many of you show thumbs? How many times did I say this? How many of you have ever been stopped by the police or pulled over or chased after? Because I know some of you run. I would never run. I personally have never ever been stopped on my bike or even let up on my bike. It's the weirdest thing, and it's not like I'm taking it easy. There's plenty of times where I don't take it easy. It's usually on the back roads and not anywhere in town, because that's where the cops hide. I just found out that I've had my license for now 12 years, which I find is quite funny because it feels like it's been longer than that. And I've never been pulled over on the bike. I've been pulled over in a car only twice. Only twice. Crazy, right? And it's not much of a story because I didn't get a ticket either time. And people are like, oh, you didn't get a ticket because you're a female. Well, that may have played into a part, but probably not. I was let off with a warning both times. I'm going to talk about the second time because the second time was really not that big of a deal. Well, sorry. It was a big deal, but it was something that I didn't see out of the corner of my eye. So basically, I was riding around. I think it was Black Friday, and I don't know where my husband was, but he was working or something. I don't know. No. Sorry. He was doing all the Black Friday sales. He wanted to go pick up something, but we had the kids, and we didn't want to take the kids inside. So I got to take the kids, and I was bored. I decided I wanted to drive around. So I was taking it really slow. I was in a 30-mile-an-hour road. Along these roads have yellow, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the sidewalks have these yellow squares right before, I don't know, like an intersection or whatnot for pedestrians. And it was a dual lane road, one way, so 2 lanes of traffic going one way, and there was a cop behind a SUV on the left lane right here, so like this car and that car with a bicycle in the back. I believe, it's been a while, I think it was a couple years ago, I believe the SUV started slowing down, or the cop slowed down. I was still going. I was like, okay, I think they're turning left, they're probably turning left, so I'm just going to keep going. I mean, there was no intersection really, it was just a straight stretch of road with sidewalks, and there was no crosswalk at all. So all of a sudden, there's this pedestrian comes right into the middle of the road, right past the SUV, and I'm like, oh shoot, as I go by him. Luckily he stopped. I didn't hit him. I was going 30 because there was a cop right next to me. Didn't think anything of it, but all of a sudden I look in my rear view and the cop, I'll go this way, and the cop has his lights on, and I was like, oh great. What did I do? I kept saying over and over and over in my head, what did I do? Because that pedestrian I saw was not in a crosswalk. He was not in a crosswalk. For all I knew, the pedestrian should have gotten a ticket. Cop pulls me over. He sees I have 2 kids. He's like, do you know why I pulled you over? I'm like, nope. Can't tell you that. Because I was not speeding. I didn't say that, but I just said no. He goes, I pulled you over because there was a pedestrian in the road and you didn't slow down to stop. Now, from my point of view, pedestrian. He was behind the SUV, he was behind the cop car. I didn't have a line of sight. He was on my left side until it was too late, and that's what I told him. I apologize, and I know you're not supposed to admit guilt and whatnot, but I literally did not see him. And he therefore told me that anytime you see a yellow, orange, or a yellow square on a sidewalk, that is an actual crossing for a pedestrian to be able to cross. And I was like, okay, good to know. I did not know that. Like one of these, except there was no crosswalk. So I don't. I'm gonna have to look up that. I don't think I even looked up that rule to see if it was legit or not, but that's how it happened. The very first time I was pulled over, I should have gotten a ticket or something, or reprimanded or whatever, but, well, it was another tricky gray area, I should say. I'll give you a backstory. Backstory was, I was in college. I had my driver's permit. I had a driver's permit for about 6 years, but I would continually forget that I had only a driver's permit, which entails in Oregon that you have to have an adult with a license ride with you. And it's usually in the passenger seat. They can't ride in the back. So, I'm on the crew team, and we have a team van that, because I was a senior, I was driving the team van for all of our teammates to get to the river to go crewing on the river. There's one time when we had a meet down in California. We were driving I-5, still on the Oregon side. We were going down this hill, and I had a feeling, I just had an inkling that at the bottom of this hill something was going to happen. So there was a partial median in the middle, and a cop car was looking at, we were going south, I-5. The cop car was looking at the traffic going north, I-5. And a construction zone was coming up. I hadn't hit it yet. And the construction zone, I think, was like 50 miles an hour, and I think I was going like 65, because it was 65 before that. I passed by the cop, and he's doing a U-E before I even passed him, and I'm like, what? Oh, great. I slowed down because now, by that time, we were in the construction zone, and he turns on his lights behind me. I'm like, great. I'm like, my heart is pounding, because not only do I only have a permit, I don't have an adult driver with a license sitting in my passenger seat. Luckily, my coach, who was an adult driver with a driver's license, was in the van, but she was not in the front. She was in the back or middle, I can't remember. So here I am shitting myself, saying, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Gets out of the car, comes over to my window and goes, you know why I pulled you over? You're going such and such speed in a construction zone. I was like, oh, I didn't realize this was a construction zone. I hadn't gotten there yet. He's like, yeah, you were supposed to go this speed. It sounded like the guy was new, and his commander, or whatever you call him, was also next to him. And I know from being an umpire that they teach you that if you make the wrong call, say a guy was playing baseball, and he swings at a foul ball, and you say foul instead of strike. Well, you're supposed to stick to what you said. You're supposed to say it was a foul, even though you're going to have the parents all up in arms. And I've had a lot of calls like that where I've mistaken calls. You still really have to stick by your guns, because if you revoke what you said, then you're not reliable. Then you're saying, oh, that they could change the rules anytime they want. So when it comes to cops, I can see why they don't like to admit fault. So he actually never apologized, saying that I was not in a construction zone at the time. But what got me was that I gave him my permit. He came back saying that this was just a permit, not an actual license. I was like, yeah, I know, but you're supposed to have an adult passenger with a driver's license in your passenger seat. And he's like, yeah, okay, well, where are they? Because the person who was in there didn't have a license either. He's like, oh, she's my coach in the back. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to give you a warning. She needs to drive. and you're not allowed to drive unless she's in the front. I was like, okay, fine. At that point in time, I don't think anyone on my team knew that I didn't have a license, so that kind of opened a can of worms, and I felt really embarrassed, because here I was driving the team the whole year on a permit, and my coach was never in the team van on campus, so I felt like I kind of felt ashamed of that. That was a tough story, but oh well, you live and you learn. And the only reason why I got a driver's license eventually was so I could ride my motorcycle and take the course. I had to take the course first, and then I was able to ride my motorcycle. But yeah, that's how that happened. So how many of you have been pulled over? How many times have you been pulled over? That would be interesting. I would love to hear your stories. Please like, comment, subscribe. I would love to get all your help. And if you subscribe, you press the little bell, you will get the notification. I know you guys have been having issues trying to get the notifications every time I post a video. And some of my old subscribers are surprised when I realize that I'm recording again. But yeah, till next time, guys. Ciao.